we got to get into this now. This topic, I'm gonna play the first set of this videos with this for the listeners, and we're gonna dissect 2 sets of videos with this. It's all one big case. Y'all know we love to do our little crime drama stuff on here. We love to be part-time detectives. Well, everyone needs an Aquarius. So I'm gonna present this to everybody, and then we gonna do our detective work.
Shot when I was 23. I married a young lady that everybody was telling me not to, but I was like, look, y'all don't understand our love. So we get into a huge argument one day, and the first time I tried to leave, she ran out the house and like hit the windshield with a shovel and like shattered the windshield.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
Not too long after that, we get into another argument. So I had a pistol on deck at all times, so she wouldn't grab it. Like, you're not going to leave this time. You're going to listen to me finish this argument. I was holding our son at the time, right? I turn to leave. She shoots me in the forearm. The bullet goes through my forearm and goes across his forehead. I'm looking at my son. His face is bleeding. My arm's bleeding. I set my son down and I look. She's got the gun pointed at my head, bro. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to leave. All I could do was close my eyes, and all I heard was click.
Oh, shit.
So then she's messing with the gun. The only thing I can think of, like, if I try to run, she gonna shoot me in the back. So I just ran towards her and just turned into a UFC maniac. Wop, wop. A few months ago, I did a podcast talking about how my ex-wife shot me. A clip of that video went viral. Here it is. Now, if you know that story, you know that I was holding our 2-year-old son during an argument. My ex-wife pulled a gun on me, shot me in the forearm. The bullet went through my forearm, grazed his forehead. Then she pointed the gun at my face and squeezed the trigger, and the gun jammed. God protected me. What you don't know is that I divorced her immediately. I got custody of our son, and she did 3 years in prison. She went on with her life. I went on with mine. Quick update, she just got arrested for murdering her boyfriend. It's all over the news. A Georgia woman was arrested years after the body of a man was found in an Alabama shallow grave. Long story short, she found out her boyfriend was cheating, shot him in the head 3 times while he was asleep.
So, there's going to be more context to this, but I want to get your initial thought before we continue with this, because there's more that's going to come up. Because I couldn't stop just there. After I saw that, couldn't just stop there. It was like a Lay's chip. I just couldn't stop with one. So I'm going to give some more context as the background of his story for people that may not understand a little bit. So I dived into it more. So that situation with him with that son was in 2003. So that son is 20 some years old now.
Damn.
Because this happened in 03. The 03 is when
time goes by so fast.
So that little dude's like 22 years old now. 21, 22, 20 years old, somewhere around there. So she claimed he was cheating or whatever, and that's what happened with that. And so she did her time, fast forward, and now I'm going to break down the story of the even crazier story of what happened with the second person gentleman he talked about just on here, where he said that she killed her newer boyfriend. It's years later. But this brother right here is going to break it down for us.
August 1st, 2019, Sean Jackson, who was a resident of Jonesboro, Georgia, was reported missing by his 17-year-old son and his live-in 45-year-old girlfriend, Neworker Hurt. Immediately after getting all the information, the Clayton County...
Her name is Neworker Hurt. No, that's real. But I deep dived. Someone said they call her Nunu. So if anybody wants to keep, like, they call her Nunu, not Neworker. But Neworker is her name.
Police launched a missing person report and started their investigation, but there wasn't much for them to go off of. Now, when Sean's son was taken in for questioning, he told investigators his father had been having an affair with another woman, and on the afternoon of July 31st, 2019, his girlfriend found out where Sean's mistress lived and went over to confront him. He stated Sean and Neworker stood outside his side piece home, arguing and fighting for a while, and the altercation continued as they made it home. Then later on that night, all the yelling and fighting stopped, so he assumed Neworker and his father had calmed down and made up because they both went to bed together. The next morning, Neworker came into his room and woke him up out of his sleep to tell him his father left the house last night and hasn't been seen since. This made investigators very suspicious, and they also felt that Neworker could have possibly had something to do with this disappearance. But when they searched the house for evidence, nothing was found. Almost 3 weeks had passed, and investigators still didn't know Sean's whereabouts, but on August 19, 2019, that would change. Around 4 p.m. on a Thursday, in Jefferson County, Alabama, the sheriff department received a call from some friendly residents stating, as they were out for a walk near Shady Grove Road and the Village Creek Bridge, they saw what looked like human remains protruding from the ground about 30 yards off the roadway. So Sheriff A.G. and a few of his deputies rushed over to the location, and once they arrived to the scene, it was indeed human remains. The body was found in a grave, and whoever tried to bury this body did a poor job digging it because the hole was so shallow, parts of his arms and legs were visible and could be seen from far away. Now, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office didn't exactly know who this body belonged to, but once he was taken in for an autopsy, his fingerprints, clothing, and tattoos were identified as the missing Georgia man, Sean David Jackson. Soon after this discovery, investigators from Jefferson County reached out to the Clayton County authorities, and they began working together to determine where and why Sean was killed and who would want to do such a thing. For almost 4 years, investigators didn't make an arrest, but detectives found out that his girlfriend Neworker had a lot of skeletons in her closet. Almost 20 years ago, she was married to a man named Charlie Neworker, and for a while, they lived happily with the family. Then, out of nowhere, things went from good to worse.
Charlie Newhart said this video shows the good times in his marriage to Neworker Hurt, but he said there were bad times also.
He had a son by somebody else while we was married.
But it reached a boiling point 20 years ago this month when he says an argument with Hurt almost turned deadly.
She pointed the gun at me, shot me in the forearm, and the bullet went through my arm and it grazed my son's forehead. He's 2 years old in my arms. And I look at her and she's got the gun pointed at my face. And I was like, oh God, I'm ready to leave. She squeezed the trigger and nothing came out the gun.
Now, with all the evidence that was gathered on Sean's disappearance, the Clayton County police detectives alleged that Neworker shot Sean Jackson 3 times in the back of the head while he was asleep, then called her brother to help get rid of the body. With these allegations, a warrant was put out for his girlfriend Neworker and her brother's arrest. On April 20th, 2023, she was located in an apartment in Atlanta, Georgia, and placed under arrest on charges of malice murder, possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, tampering with evidence, and concealing the death of another person. As of today, Neworker Hurt is being held in the Clayton County Jail in Georgia to await her trial date.
All right. Dom, you all right?
Why her middle name gotta be Adrian? How y'all get a name Neworker, but how your middle name Adrian?
That's a weird thing.
I think I'm so shocked. I'm so stunned.
My thing is, how did they let her get away with it for 4 years, though? It was a 2019. They just arrested her at the end of last year.
This is so strange. Because they black.
I mean, automatically, I would have picked her up and just arrested her off GP. You done shot your last dude or one of your previous dudes and did 3 years for it. We got to at least hold you. We look, we got, I know, you know.
They must not have really ran her name through the system because of what the son said.
No,
and all that stuff. Like,
but she did 3 years already for already shooting.
But some detective dropped the ball and didn't
at least do a small little background check. Like, okay, let me do a background check on everybody in this house. I wouldn't even tell nobody I'm doing it. Let me get everybody's name. Let me just do a quick little. I'm sure probably a little Google search would have probably got that she shot this dude.
That is so weird. Somebody really, really dropped the ball on that.
And even then, like, even if they didn't have evidence, we got at least
how much time? Okay, wait. She was on the run for 4 years.
Not on the run. No, they didn't have enough evidence.
Oh, okay. So wait, so they found his body 4 years later?
3 weeks later, but they couldn't connect her.
3 weeks later.
But that's the weird part. How weren't y'all able to connect this? It took y'all 4 years. Now, the only thing that could have put a jam up in it is COVID may have pushed stuff back. But 4 years?
That is wild. Because niggas in St. Louis was still killing niggas during COVID. Like, what?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, and they let and you notice some dumb niggatry that was done here because they said the grave was so they ain't even dig a deep enough grave. Like, what are y'all doing here, man? Y'all thought this was cool. You know, I think it'll be all right. Let's just get out of here, Chris. I don't know her brother's name.
Because all I can see is they did a rush sloppy job because she had to get home before the kid woke up.
Oh.
So she had to get back, but she should have stayed there digging.
No, she should have sent her brother to dig first.
That's
and
what
get
I'm
it
saying.
deep enough, and then I'll come out there and we'll do what we got to do then. Or she might have popped it up on her brother though, like, hey, let's come by the house. And then it's like, damn, all right,
also,
you know. And then they trying to, and then he's her brother trying to problem solve, and
so even, and whatever she had, she must have had a silencer on whatever she had.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, for a 17-year-old, and he's in the basement, and then you kill him in his sleep. But she could have put a pillow over it too.
Yeah,
and put a pillow over his head, and then shot twice, like, 3 times.
Yeah, so it wouldn't splatter or anything. So you just got to throw a pillow away.
You just got to throw the pillowcase away. I mean, man. The one question that was messed up though is somebody I won't mention is one of my friends. When I sent it to him, he was like, "That pussy must have been fire." That's what, and then when he said that pussy, and then he put the flames behind it. Fire. And I agree with him. It must have been. Ain't no way you that crazy.
The strange thing about all of this
you that crazy and it ain't fire. It ain't no way you that crazy and it ain't fire. No way.
She was just never right in the head mentally.
No, she definitely couldn't have been.
She just never was right.
I'm like, shooting at your first husband that's holding your son,
your baby. She just did not care.
Then you had where she had a baby with somebody else.
So, and when you had this baby with somebody else while y'all was married, because I was like, oh, they had a couple of kids, like, or she had a kid before, you know, because you see 2 kids in the video.
One of them is by somebody else.
So I'm like, did she have that baby on you before or after?
It's a good question. That's a good question. Because this could be all this. Look, I don't like the victim shame at all. But as men, it's a lot of times when stuff go wrong, it's our fault. When it comes, because we dictate kind of the run of the relationship in some ways and how the motion of it kind of is going to run, the tempo per se. Yo, if now my 2 questions here for you with this. 2 questions for you. The second dude, did he know that she went to jail for 3 years for shooting her first dude?
I doubt it. I doubt it. Cause like niggas don't be quick. Like I'm not gonna say I could even see her moving through life because it seemed like she had no contact with the son.
I know. I don't think so. At least it doesn't feel like
I could see her not even mentioning that she got this other kid.
Other kids, because you remember she got 2 kids.
She got 2 kids, but I don't know what her relationship was with the other kid that's like the baby out of wedlock.
Yeah, because if that was 20 years,
because if she only did 3 years, right? That kid probably, when she got out, the kid was only like 4 or 5.
But if this is happened in 2019 and he was shot in like 2020, 2001, somewhere in there, that kid is a grown person now already. Anyway, both of those kids are.
Right. So, but it would be contingent upon if she has a relationship with that kid or not. Because where did that kid go when she went to jail?
The kid that's not by the other.
I could see the original father. It could possibly, or could have been her. Who knows? But like by now, you moving through about life. So I don't know if she had a
Oh,
relationship with them or not.
so you saying there's a possibility because even to backtrack for you, the first incident happened in New York, so she moved all the way away.
Oh yeah. Then he probably didn't even know.
Because look, her kids are all grown. You don't even think he might not knew she had kids, huh?
Yeah, I think that's very possible. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. And think about it, like, because it's so easy. It's so easy for people to live a double life. Like and
it's so long ago. That's hard for those records to be electronic as much because that's back in 2000, early 2000s.
And then think about it, like even recent situations people might not know about until later down the line, even in this day and age of social media, because a person is acting just so regular and normal, and then you like, what the fuck? Like you got a crazy message from somebody.
Dang. Dude, like it's just crazy. This like the whole idea. This is just but the craziest part is the fact that she had got away with the first thing and with her own son in the dude's arm, and then fast forward.
I'm surprised that she only got 3 years for that. But also, like I said, with the sexual assault case on the other show, this motherfucker got 16 months. And it's like, this person, like, she had a gun. She tried to shoot him again. It was pointed at his head and the gun jammed, and y'all giving her 3 years?
What's up, y'all? This is RVS.
This is ROD, aka Rated R.
And we are the We Coming For You cast. And we talk about pro wrestling from a black dude's perspective. Tell them what they can expect on this here podcast.
Oh, we gonna give you all the raw and dirty and the everything black from AEW, WWE, Impact Wrestling, and any other wrestling in between. If you want your wrestling unfiltered, uncensored, and you want it raw, you need to subscribe to the We Come For You cast.
Right here on SOLC Network.
That's lazy.
But then
I've never been out really anyway. She shouldn't have been out. This always happens.
Yeah, because
but y'all want to arrest Mike for 20 years because he had a ounce of cocaine on him.
And give him 20, right?
Give him 20.
I mean,
that's weird.
Yeah, it's and maybe you know what? Maybe it was a situation of she that because the first time she didn't have any other priors, maybe.
Hey y'all, if y'all like what y'all see here on Everyone Needs an Aquarius, be sure to like, subscribe, and share our podcast with your friends because we got all the tea. And if you want to check out more stuff from us, be sure to hit that button right there on the right side so you can see other stuff and again share it with everybody.